We're on. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Afternoon Market Action. My name is Glenn.
My name is Ryan.
And we are here live for Afternoon Market Action. If you can hear us loud and clear, by all means, please respond in the affirmative, preferably with VV Nation, to let us know that we are coming across loud and clear. I'm looking for the story. It didn't come up yet. What the Fed do? What they do?
Now's enough.
I'm looking.
While Glenn's looking for that, I'm just curious because we just did the Power Hour live stream.
Yeah.
Put a 1 in the comment section if you're joining us after the Power Hour. Put a 1 in the comment section if you did make it to the Power Hour section.
All right, there it is. The Fed leaves the rates unchanged as expected. Can you just put me on that screen? All right, so that was what we thought was going to happen. The Fed did leave the rates unchanged as expected. Look at all the people typing in the ones, Ryan.
Pull that mic closer.
Ryan, by the
way. We went way over our time, too. Joey's going to kill me.
Yeah, Ryan, by the way, I wanted to be known by me to everybody. I think you did a great job today. And Ryan was right. He doesn't live stream by himself very often, but I think he did an outstanding job today. So thank you guys for coming over from his live stream to this live stream. And if you're brand new still to the channel and you haven't subscribed yet, by all means, please do so. Mm-hmm. Please do so. So as you can see, the headline story, Fed holds the rate steady. Now it's got a new something to it. Fed holds the rate steady, but notes progress on inflation. Let me click on that. What does it say? The Fed Reserve Wednesday held the short-term, blah, blah, blah. Central banks made no obvious indication, though a reduction is imminent. Akshay, are you here? A reduction is imminent, choosing to maintain language that indicates ongoing concerns about economic conditions, albeit with progress. They also preserved a declaration that more progress is needed before rate reductions happen. So, you know something? I think that they're covering their butts just in case they don't cut in September. I think that everyone thinks that he's going to cut in September. I still think he's not going to cut in September. We'll see. But I love
at this point, I'd be surprised if he did.
I love the language. More progress is needed before rate reduction can happen. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I'd be surprised if he did a rate hike in September. And that's why I talked about in the Power Hour, we mentioned this a little bit, how, there'd be no surprise. The consensus essentially is they leave them unchanged, but really will be the language is that Jerome Powell will be using during his testimony or his conference at 2:30.
Yeah, we're going to be live for that. But I want
and that'll really give the markets insight if the rate cuts are going to happen in September or not. I mean, September is right around the corner.
It's next month, pretty much.
Tomorrow's August.
So. All right, is that better? Well, I'll sit up. Gosh, make up your mind.
Was he slouching over there?
Okay. All right, so Joey's sitting here, and he's being my mom today. Well, my dad. He's being my dad today.
He's the posture doctor.
All right, so now as if, there it is. I got my volume high. I got my mic closer. There you go. Glenn, can you say that there? Well, who say that right there? All right, so I'm going to get into the system now. Let's take a look at what's going on. Look at that. The NASDAQ, big move today, followed by the S&P 500, followed by, the volatility is down. The Russell is not up as much as it has been. I think Ryan and I are, for the most part, have been saying that the AI stuff, the tech stocks, are not dead. Big move today. So, and I think a lot of it was spurred up by NVIDIA moving and some other.
NVIDIA's up like 115 right now.
Yeah, so but you know something? Excuse me, I'm still in my Palantir. I'm happy. I'm a happy guy. The next CPI is 814. Thank you, Jeff. But PCE on 830, rate cut on 918. Book it, Dano. We'll see. I still don't think we get it in September. I still don't think. So I like that. Bob says, love Ryan's show today. Please keep up the program. It is great. I think that we're going to do the power hours twice a month. Ryan will have one and I will have one. I think that that's what we're going to do going forward. Glenn, did you talk to Powell yet from the 50th floor? Can you put that up? Or we can't do that. You can't put up. Can you put up the Fed call from this layout?
Yeah.
You can? Just put it up. The Fed.
Whoa.
Can you do that?
I like the Jerome Powell video where he goes out on stage dancing.
Oh, heck yeah.
That's a good one,
I don't know if
too.
you can. We're going to put up, because this is where I'm going to call Powell. Probably going to call him later today after, I don't know. I'm going to, go ahead, I'll put it up there. This is, I'm going to call him today after he talks to people, just so I can get in line with him to let him know what Uncle Glenn says he needs to probably do. So
Like Jerry Jones sitting up there.
this is where I call Jerome Powell
Like
from.
Jerry Jones.
And Uncle Glenn is going to have to get in. All right. Turn right. All right. So let's go look at our stock picks for the week. Going into next week, we're going to go to the viewers tab. Where is it? There it is. And there's the market indices prior to the announcement. The VIX is down. People are getting less fearful. What are you going to call him? I'm going to call him some things, Sonny. Since the markets are acting like they're on drugs right now, can we look at marijuana stocks? You know, Ron, there's nothing pushing marijuana stocks right now. There's no legislation out there about legalizing it more or anything. I don't think marijuana stocks are on the move, but when it comes time to look at some of your stocks, we may or may not, depending on how long Powell talks and how long you want to be there, we may or may not look at your stocks today. Normally on Wednesdays, we may or we may not. Amir says, what is he saying? Power guy has killed my account. I hate the Fed situation. Listen, Amir, you've been able to put protection on for the longest time, Amir. That's on you, buddy. And I think that...
Amir, you know what a covered call or a cash secured put is?
Yeah, I'm going to leave that alone. All right. Let's
or
go.
Sell your position?
Actually, before we get into the stock picks, we got to get into our news. Let's go find it. That's not it. All right, this is it. So let's talk about our news. This is Ryan's story. AMD says data center sales more than doubled in a year. Ryan, by the way, we need to get through these so that we're ready for him at 2:30. So I'm just putting that out there.
Yeah, we still got to do the stocks and watch list.
Yeah.
But yeah, ultimately AMD, all three of my stories are having to do with earnings, big stocks reporting this week. AMD up. It was up almost 10%, giving up some of those gains. I think it's up, you can see right now, up 2.88%. Now, the biggest thing I was focused on, data center revenue, right? Because, I mean, they got the gaming PC on lock. There's no question about that. But for them to really excel and be, a multi-bag opportunity, they got to step up in competition with NVIDIA when it comes to these data centers. Well, the chips that, the the M1 300 series chips, their data center revenue up 115%, more than doubled in the same quarter as last year. So I'm still a big believer in AMD. As far as the chip companies, they had to take a breather. All of them been running like crazy. AMD, great company, Lisa Su. I'm a big believer. They don't have to beat NVIDIA. No. They don't have to beat NVIDIA. They just have to stay relevant and keep their little bit of market share as the industry grows. I mean, was it the compounded growth rate for the data center industry is about around 30%, depending on what article you're looking at over the next few years. So there's huge potential here, and they are well suited to step up to it. Glenn, you got any comments here? Me and AMD, I like it.
I'm on board with you. As far as those stocks that Amir has, a lot of those stocks have been beaten up a lot, so it's going to take a lot for them to come back, to include AMD. But I am positive on AMD as well. All right, let's go to the next one. This bothers me. Uber, Boyd partner to bring EVs to ride-hailing platform globally. I think that if Boyd gets their cars out, especially in the U.S. market, which I don't think is going to happen, I don't think it's going to happen, but if they do, Tesla's going to have a run for the money because Boyd has got such low dollar all electric vehicles.
Well, so Glenn, it's crazy that you just brought up this article because in the Power Hour, I think it was Batman. If not, I apologize. I forgot who it was. They said, how do you think Uber will react to or respond to Tesla's ride-hailing service? And I said that they would be smart to join forces with Tesla than to oppose them. Well, it looks like they did something like I thought, but they just joined the wrong.
And that's correct. So,
they joined the other team. They joined Boyd.
They might have talked to Tesla, and maybe Elon wasn't feeling it. And so Uber probably said, fine, we'll go with your biggest competitor that's got a lot of cars out there, and they're cheap, and people are buying them. That might have been what they did. And now I think that we'll see in the long term if it was the right decision or not. But Uber, I got Uber and Boyd both in my list. As much as I'm against EVs right now, because a lot of people, a lot of the big manufacturers are not selling them. I think that they're trying to put the news out there to try to get more traction in the EV space. And the two biggest people that you're going to pay attention to are going to be Boyd and Tesla, outside of Lee and NIO and all that kind of stuff. So we'll see. But that does concern me. Because if Boyd really gets a stranglehold on the market globally, Tesla is going to, that's going to be a problem for Tesla. It's going to be a problem for Tesla. All right, next story. Go ahead.
Boyd, and I'm not sure, but Boyd doesn't do autonomous driving, though, does it?
No, that's, they could be in the works of bringing it, just like Tesla is. Okay. Let's go see. Uber and Boyd will offer drivers discounts on vehicle maintenance, blah, 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 blah. When an Uber driver makes the switch to an EV, they can deliver up to 4 times the emissions benefits, blah, 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 blah. The companies added that they will work together to integrate Boyd's vehicle with self-driving technologies onto the ride here. So that tells me that Boyd is already working on it.
Yeah, because that was the crown jewel of Tesla, essentially, where you can buy a Tesla and then just ride hail it out, so your car makes money for you while you're doing whatever.
But I'm sure that the upgrade for that has got to be tremendous.
Oh, I'd imagine the package for that.
I can imagine. I got BYDDF. BYDDF.
And I'm curious what the legislation behind that would be,
and that's what's going to be the interesting thing. I don't think that
our
Congress is going to let Boyd into the U.S.
Yeah, and I'm curious how the whole self-driving technology works. Because right now, if you're in a Tesla, you have to, periodically hold the wheel or at least prove you're still paying attention.
Or actually, Ray, when they were just in Arizona, our boss, they were in an autonomous driving vehicle. He didn't tell you that?
No.
Yeah, they got Dylan wanted to, and they did. They got in. It was like a taxi, Uber, whatever, to get them from point A to point B, and it was a self-driving vehicle.
So there was no driver?
It was a self-driving vehicle. So what does that mean, Ryan? I'm just asking.
The car could drive itself, and there still be a driver. That's why I don't know the laws.
From
so
what I understand,
it wasn't
a driver.
Have to be a driver.
From what I understand, it wasn't a driver.
Interesting. Well, I'm just curious because I was with my friend's Tesla the other day, and they said that Tesla's making safety factors to make sure that drivers are paying attention, even though it's self-driving.
Well, so that major car manufacturer, Ford does it. You can, the commercial with and the car will drive by itself. And you can keep your hands off the wheel. So, I don't know. All right, next story is yours. Meta set to report second quarter earnings after the bell.
I like Meta a lot.
Okay.
They just secured, almost $4 billion worth of Grace Hopper GPUs. The last Meta earnings call, they, dropped, but essentially it's because of their revenue, or not their revenue, their earnings. They are having to spend a lot of money on these AI investments, right? So we're going to see if these AI investments is paying off. You can see that's actually one of the points right here. Meta is spending heavily on AI and virtual reality. So we just got to make sure, if they can beat the earnings estimates and still carry all of this AI growth within the company. Because, I mean, if Meta doesn't get into the AI race with the other big guys, the other big players here, Google, Microsoft, they're going to be left behind,
Talk
all
about
Mag 7
Microsoft.
stocks.
Microsoft crapped the bed. What the heck?
Yes, it did.
All right.
Yes, it did.
All right.
But yeah, Meta's up 2% right now. Well, I'm not going to make a call on it either way, but
Well, someone just asked, do you buy it before or after earnings? That was Sharif says, buy Meta now or after earnings?
I'd wait till after earnings.
There
What do
you go.
think, Glenn?
All right. Next story. PayPal surges on Q2 earnings and ETFs in focus. Interesting. PayPal, they beat on earnings. They beat up nicely, but this is what caught my attention. Should you play the PayPal via the ETF method? And there's several ETFs that carry PayPal. Grayscale ETF, GFOF. It's got 7.6% in that ETF, 6.9 or 7% in FNIX, and Amplify Mobile Payments. It's got 6.48. So I've got iPay and I've got PayPal. I want to look at iPay. iPay I know of. The other two I've not seen much on, but iPay I have seen. But nice that they beat. The company, which belongs to Zach's internet software industry, posted revenues of $7.89 billion in the second quarter, up 9% over the year. All right, and something to keep my eyes on. All right, let's go to the next story, which is yours. Boeing taps aerospace veteran Ortberg to replace David Calhoun as CEO. I got something to say about this, but go ahead.
What do you got to say, Glenn?
The CEO said he was gonna step down, but he's gonna wait to the end of the year, which I think is a bunch of horse poop.
Yeah, I think as far as the stock and being an investor in the company, I'd want him gone immediately.
Absolutely.
I mean, just his whole image. Anytime someone says his name or even just the Boeing name, nothing good comes out of it. And that's actually going to be one of my points here. Was ultimately, I wish it was happening sooner. But yeah, it's not going to happen until January.
It's not happening fast enough.
No.
Boeing, outside of all of the bad PR, the other side of it that I don't like is you got those astronauts up there. And they say, well, no, they're not stuck up there. Oh, no, they're taking the extra time to do experiments and this, that, and the other thing. I think that ship that they went up on has got some issues. And I think, personally, I think they're stuck up there until they can get it all fixed, which sucks. I thought that the story was going to be a good story to help to turn around a lot, but I don't think that it's working out.
Yeah, we covered it when it first happened, hoping it would.
I don't think that it's happening enough. So, all right. And the last story is a Palantir story. I wonder how that happened. Analysts adjust Palantir stock prices ahead of earnings. I own Palantir. I'm in it. I have come to the realization that Palantir is a longer term play for me right now. It just is. I love what they do. I love what they stand for. I like the president, Alex Karp. The contracts keep coming in hand over fist. And, it's been a tough stock to hold. But I think that as these contracts come to fruition, a lot of money is being made. They're going to make a ton of freaking money. A ton. So I'm big. I just determined now that I am long-term on Palantir. Would I buy it ahead of earnings? This is one that I would probably buy ahead of earnings. I did not do a story on Palantir earnings, but I like what they're doing, and it's one of my stocks that I'm looking at today as well. So let's go to our lists. We'll start with my picks. My picks for the week. Are we safe to buy the dip now? Oof. I think a lot of it in regards to that, Eduardo, is going to be what the Fed says. I think the market is anticipating, there's going to be a cut in September. We're going to hear what he's got to say, but he's going to probably still use the words like, we need more time. And if that's the case, all it's doing is he's just setting up himself just in case he doesn't cut, to say we still need more time. But I think everybody, and I hope he has backbone enough to do the right thing if it's not time. But I think that the pressure is on him to do it regardless. All right, so there's all of the stocks that I picked today are all moving up today. There's the PayPal and iPay, Palantir, big mover today. Look at that, Boyd, up 4%. Everything is up at least 1% with the exception of iPay. They're not all buys, but the market had gotten beaten up for a little bit. I do like the earnings growth rate. Look at that on Boyd. I can't not see that. Uber's got 45% earnings growth, and Palantir's got 28% earnings growth. So those are my picks for the week. I'm going into my picks for last week. Let's see where we were. Someone asked me about CrowdStrike. I was bearish on CrowdStrike last week, and look at that. It's still moving down. I'm not a fan of CrowdStrike yet. They've got to overcome the glitch thingy. Once they do, I still think CrowdStrike is a fundamentally sound stock. It's a sell recommendation because RT is so low after it got beat up. So still fundamentally sound stock. It is overvalued, but it's got an earnings growth rate of 31%. I still like the stock long term. This is just not the right time to be in the stock. Hi, Jim Penna. Yeah, whatever. All right, so
Can't wait.
here's the stocks that I would have been bullish on. I did bring in 2 Contras as a way to hedge from last week. Where's my date? Let me go back in time. To last week. All right, and now let's set this up. ServiceNow, Visa, IBM, AT&T, bearish on CrowdStrike. I would have been bullish on SQQQ and SOXS. Let's quick test them. Right click, quick test. 1.82%. I kept up with the market.
Hey, I'll take it.
ServiceNow was
SOXS.
news. Look at that nice move on that.
I thought you were going to take a bigger hit.
But look at that. Even with my my hedges, they didn't work out well because the market turned around. But those are manageable losses. SQQQ and SOXS, those are manageable losses on Contras. But Visa went up, IBM went up, AT&T went up, but 1.82, so I was positive, and I kept up with the S&P 500. All right, Joey's picks last week, he didn't have anything, and he's in the same situation this week. He's cashed for 3 weeks in a row, and I know something, I'm okay with that. I am definitely okay with that. Ryan's picks this week, if you want to talk about them, we got 7 minutes before the Fed comes on. Okay.
I'll make it real quick.
There you go.
These are all earnings updates. Essentially, we got Meta Platforms, Advanced Micro Devices reported yesterday after the bell, and also we have Boeing this week. All up today, even Boeing on the news of the new CEO next year, coming up 4% to the upside. Yeah. These stocks, again, like Glenn said, the market's been beating them up. We got hold and sell ratings. Boeing, that CI rating at 0.49 lets me know if you're going to do some bottom fishing here, just have a plan in place. This is a very aggressive stock. AMD and Meta do look good, though. What I like about Meta, I'll just say this real quick before we head on. Look at it. Undervalued.
Yep, that's a good thing right there.
We valued over $600. So I like Meta a lot. I'm a big believer in it. So I'm going to go bullish on Meta.
All right.
Bullish on. But how did I do last week? Let's see here.
We're getting ready to find out. Slow your horses.
Slow your horses. It's the Fed.
Were you bearish on anything?
No.
All right. Let's go take a look.
Yeah, because I have bearish ETFs. I think it was bearish Moet.
I asked you, were you or were you not?
Yeah, I would have been bearish Moet. Yeah, because I was all bearish last week. That's right.
So all of these. All right. So that's bearish, you said, right?
Yeah.
All right. Let's quick test them. How did you do on the non-bearish ones? What am I looking for? Quick test. That's silly. All right, quick test those two. Goodness gracious.
Tesla. That's what Tesla's
You
been
were
bullish
you were
lately.
on the inverse side of Tesla.
Mm-hmm.
You got your butt kicked.
Yeah.
Oh,
Should have stuck with my gut. I know
Yeah.
Tesla's going to do big things.
and you said you were bearish on that. That's a quick test. It went down 1%. So,
So I did make it there.
there you go.
2 out of 3.
All right. I do have some picks for you since the market's moving the way it is. Move your mouse, Ryan. There you go. I do have some picks. These are top VST stocks with the 3-8 cross. Let's go look at them real quick. How much time? 225. Good. These are my fish for you today. All right. Let's go see if they're fish worthy. IESC. I need it. You agree with me to get out of the middle lane and get into the fast lane? Yes, no, maybe.
Exactly. Yeah, it's got to get in the fast lane.
I do but it's a top VST stock with a 3 and 8 just cross. So, what else is in here? Woo, fix.
It looks like it wants to break out to the upside of that channel.
It does. Very little wick at the top, so not a lot of give back. Still trading close to session highs today.
Back in the fast lane. I like it.
I'm with you on that. I do. Oof. Modine was a hot stock a while ago. These are all on 3 month. That's a big move. Was that earnings? Yeah, that was an earnings play. Look at not a lot of give back. Not a lot of give back. Very little wick at the top. Earnings play. I like it in the fast lane. Next one, Powell. It broke another earnings play. Broke outside of the Bollinger Bands. Like the pinch. I like the pinch and the breakout. We'll see. Are we bullish on Boeing? I'm not bullish on Boeing.
No.
I'm not at all. All right, and the last one is GFI, mining gold, silver. Look at that. Look at that trend line. I like the move on that. A lot of give back, though, because the open was up here. Here is where it's trading now, so it's lower than the open. This wasn't an earnings play. It's lower than the open, but I would watch the dollar before I went and bought any of the gold stocks right now. All right. Let's close out of that.
About 3 minutes.
3 minutes. So, Joey, I'm going to bring up 2.5. I'm going to bring up a graph of the composite. Make it half the screen.
Okay.
Probably move this all over. There we go. And I want to look at intraday, 1 minute bars, current day. There's the move. And Joey is going to bring Fed Powell over. A shift in focus from inflation to the labor market would be a significant weight to yields in the U.S. dollar. So, unemployment is still at 4%, 4.1%. The Fed's mandate is to stabilize price and make sure that people are working. I still think that enough people are working that we still don't warrant a huh? Oh, how did you do that?
This is a different one.
You want to bring that one over, close this one, and bring the other one over?
He's not talking yet, but
We can bring it over, though. There we go. I would close the other one. Hi, lady. Tell the Fed I'm on the phone for him. And your name is? Just tell him it's Glenn. Yes, sir. Okay.
Tell him it's Glenn.
ARM. What do you think about ARM? Someone's asking, what do you think about ARM?
I love ARM. I mean, their partnerships with NVIDIA, TSM, AMD.
Joey says he's got 2 of them.
I love arms too. I love mine.
Yeah.
Ryan knows a little bit more about ARM. He's a little bit more in tune with ARM than I am. That's why I asked him more so.
I would just say, from a valuation standpoint, the company is stretched on its valuation.
Ooh, I like those words. It's stretched.
Stretched.
All right. So we're waiting for the Fed to come up. We're going to watch it as it actually happens. We're going to see the live reaction. I'm going to be listening for what he says and for what he doesn't say to give us more of an understanding of where he stands on September. Hey, if everybody, I need everybody to share this right now so that everybody can, Joey's going to put it in the chat. Everybody needs to send this out to people you know so that they can get the same analysis that you're getting. So that you can get the same analysis that you're getting. All right, so share this. Just give it a second. Share it.
There he goes.
Is he coming? Why are you?
No, I was saying you're the comment. The YouTube link.
You can close that one. Yeah, you can close that one. Glenn, need your DJ music more on X. Man, I'm not putting my DJ music up in there. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you. Oh, there he is. He's talking. There he is. We got to unmute him.
With goals over the past 2 years. The labor market has come into better balance, and the unemployment rate remains low. Inflation has eased substantially.
Can you guys hear it?
Of 7% to 2.5%.
I can.
You can. I can hear it.
We are strongly committed to returning inflation to our 2% goal in support of a strong economy that benefits everyone.
Oh, yeah, Ryan can.
Today, the FOMC decided to leave our policy interest rate unchanged and to continue to reduce our securities holdings. We are maintaining our restrictive stance of monetary policy in order to keep demand in line with supply and reduce inflationary pressures. We are attentive to risks on both sides of our dual mandate, and I will have more to say about monetary policy after briefly reviewing economic developments. Recent indicators suggest that economic activity has continued to expand at a solid pace. GDP growth moderated to 2.1% in the first half of the year, down from 3.1% last year. Private domestic final purchases, or PDFP, which excludes inventory investment, government spending, and net exports, and usually sends a clearer signal of underlying demand, grew at a 2.6% pace over that same period.
I'm watching the market.
Growth of consumer spending has slowed from last year's robust pace, but remains solid. Investment in equipment and intangibles has picked up from its anemic pace last year. In the housing sector, investment stalled in the second quarter after a strong rise in the first. Improving supply conditions have supported resilient demand and the strong performance of the U.S. economy over the past year. In the labor market, supply and demand conditions have come into better balance. Payroll job gains averaged 177,000 jobs per month in the second quarter, a solid pace, but below that seen in the first quarter. The unemployment rate has moved up, but remains low at 4.1%.
Still at 4.1.
Strong job creation over the past couple of years has been accompanied by an increase in the supply of workers, reflecting increases in participation among individuals aged 25 to 54 years, and a strong pace of immigration. Nominal wage growth has eased over the past year, and the jobs-to-workers gap has narrowed. Overall, a broad set of indicators suggests that conditions in the labor market have returned to about where they stood on the eve of the pandemic, strong but not overheated. Inflation has eased notably over the past 2 years, but remains somewhat above our longer-run goal of 2%. Total PCE prices rose 2.5% over the 12 months ending in June. Excluding the volatile food and energy categories, core PCE prices rose 2.6%. Longer-term inflation expectations appear to remain well anchored, as reflected in a broad range of surveys of households and businesses and forecasters, as well as measures from financial markets. My colleagues and I are acutely aware that high inflation imposes significant hardship as it erodes purchasing power, especially for those least able to meet the higher costs of essentials like food, housing, and transportation. Our monetary policy actions are guided by our dual mandate to promote maximum employment and stable prices for the American people. In support of these goals, the committee decided at today's meeting to maintain the target range for the federal funds rate at 5.25% to 5.5%, and to continue reducing our securities holdings. As the labor market has cooled and inflation has declined, the risks to achieving our employment and inflation goals continue to move into better balance.
Better balance.
Indeed, we're attentive to the risks to both sides of our dual mandate. We have stated that we do not expect it will be appropriate to reduce the target range for the federal funds rate until we have gained greater confidence that inflation is moving sustainably toward 2%.
Sustainably.
The second quarter's inflation readings have added to our confidence. and more good data would further strengthen that confidence. We will continue to make our decisions meeting by meeting. We know that reducing policy restraint too soon or too much could result in a reversal of the progress we have seen on inflation. At the same time, reducing policy restraint too late or too little could unduly weaken economic activity and employment. In considering any adjustments to the target range for the federal funds rate, the committee will carefully assess incoming data, the evolving outlook, and the balance of risks. As the economy evolves, monetary policy will adjust in order to best promote our maximum employment and price stability goals. If the economy remains solid and inflation persists, we can maintain the current target range for the federal funds rate as long as appropriate.
Higher for
If the
longer.
labor market were to weaken unexpectedly or inflation were to fall more quickly than anticipated, we are prepared to respond. Policy is well positioned to deal with the risks and uncertainties that we face in pursuing both sides of our dual mandate. The Fed has been assigned two goals for monetary policy: maximum employment and stable prices. We remain committed to bringing inflation back down to our 2% goal and to keeping longer-term inflation expectations well anchored. Restoring price stability is essential to achieving maximum employment and stable prices over the longer run. Our success in delivering on these goals matters to all Americans. We understand that our actions affect communities, families, and businesses across the country. Everything we do is in service to our public mission. We at the Fed will do everything we can to achieve our maximum employment and price stability goals. Thank you. I look forward to your questions.
All right. Did y'all like what he said? Type of 1. Were you confused as hell by what
Gina
he said?
Smiley
Type
from
of
New
2.
York Times. Thanks for taking the questions. The market's pretty much entirely
Spoken like a
expect
true
rate cut
politician.
in September at this stage. I wonder if you think that's a reasonable expectation, and if so, why not just make the move today?
Thank you. So on September, let me say this. We have made no decisions about future meetings, and that includes the September meeting.
Nah,
The
there we go.
broad sense
September meeting.
of the committee is that the economy is moving closer to the point at which it will be appropriate to reduce our policy rate. In that, we will be data dependent, but not data point dependent. So it will not be a question of responding specifically to one or two data releases.
Looking at the
question
overall
will be
data.
whether the totality of the data, the evolving outlook, and the balance of risks are consistent with rising confidence on inflation and maintaining a
Sounds
solid
like the
labor
Riddler.
market. If that test is met, a reduction in our policy rate could be on the table as soon as the next meeting in September. So you asked why not today, and I would just say, again, that the broad sense of the committee is that we're getting closer to the point at which it will be appropriate to reduce our policy rate, but that we're not quite at that point yet.
So just to follow up on that a bit, if inflation behaves as you expect between now and September, would you regard a cut in September as sort of the baseline scenario right now?
So I guess I would think
Wait,
about it this
Amir,
way.
that's what I say. Just
I'll
hold
give
on.
an example of cases in which it would be appropriate to cut and maybe that it wouldn't be appropriate to cut. So if we were to see, for example, inflation moving down quickly or more or less in line with expectations, growth remains, let's say, reasonably strong, and the labor market remains, consistent with its current condition, then I would think that a rate cut could be on the table at the September meeting. If inflation were
Could
to
be on the
prove
table.
stickier and we were to see higher readings from inflation, disappointing readings, we would weigh that along with the other things. I think it's going to be not just any one thing. It's going to be the inflation data. It's going to be the employment data. It's going to be the balance of risks as we see it. It's going to be the totality of all of that help us make this decision.
If
And just to follow up
unemployment
on that,
goes up,
specifically,
he's more apt
in
to
what
cut
ways
as well.
right now, given all you've seen over the last few months in particular on shelter, on services, et cetera, in what ways are you not confident right now that inflation is on the way back to 2%?
I think it's just a question of seeing more good data. We have seen the last couple of readings have certainly added to confidence, and we've seen progress across all three categories.
David,
of,
I
of
disagree
core
with the greed
PCE
issue.
inflation. That's goods, non-housing services, and housing services.
opinion.
So it's really just, we had a quarter of poor inflation data at the beginning of the year. Then we saw
No
some
soup
more
for
good
you.
inflation data. We had 7 months at the end of last year. we just want to see more and gain confidence. And as I said, we did gain confidence, and more good data would cause us to gain more confidence.
We're going to listen to a few more minutes before we go back into the software, folks.
Thank you. Colby Smith with the Financial Times. The March SEP pointed to 3 cuts in 2024 with core inflation at 2.6% and the unemployment rate at 4%. Since we're now at that level in terms of inflation and already beyond what was projected for the labor market, I'm just wondering if that rate path is back to being the best guidepost for policy rather than, let's say, the shallower one laid out in the June SEP.
So I would just say,
Ooh,
really the path
she tried to
ahead
trick him.
is going to depend on the way the economy evolves. And I can't really give you any better forward guidance.
That's
on
why
it than
he's
that.
answering the way he
of course,
is.
do an SEP at this meeting. We will do another one.
She tried to trick him, though.
I would just say I can imagine a scenario in which there would be everywhere from 0 cuts to several cuts, depending on the way the economy evolves. And I wouldn't want to lay out a baseline path for you.
Oh, but
today.
you laid out a baseline path of
I've
3
said
cuts this
what
year.
I can say about September and
Last year.
about today, though.
Right. Evidently, the markets like what they're hearing.
Nick Timmeros of the Wall Street Journal. Chair Powell, you've said before that you wouldn't wait until inflation got to 2% to cut rates
You said
because
the
of how
path.
inflation is lagged. Does that apply for the labor market too? If the labor market
I just want to see the market
is
hit a
back
new
in
high.
equilibrium, why is restrictive policy and potentially very restrictive policy, given the high real funds rate, warranted right now?
So this is the very reason that we're thinking about that we've said in our statement that we're going back to looking at both mandates.
There you
and
go,
that we
Ryan.
think the risks are coming back into balance. We think what the data broadly show in the labor market is an ongoing gradual normalization of labor market conditions. And that's what we want to see.
There it is.
We've seen that over a period of a couple of years, and a move really from overheated conditions to more normal conditions. We are watching the labor market conditions quite closely, and that's what we're seeing. If we start to see something that looks to be more than that, then we're well positioned to respond. That's part of what we're thinking.
And when you talk
He's
about
being very non-committal
seeing
right
something
now.
that's more than whatever softness or slowdown you expect, in the past you've said that stronger growth wouldn't override better news on inflation. I wonder how that cuts the other way. If you're seeing more softness in the labor market than what you would expect, does that change the calculus on what you're looking for out of the inflation numbers to recalibrate policy?
So we have growth isn't one of our 3. We have 2 mandates, as you know. The labor market, maximum employment is one, and stable prices is another. So we weigh those 2 things equally under the law. When we were far away from our inflation mandate, we had to focus on that. Now we're back to a closer to even focus. So we'll be looking at labor market conditions and asking whether we're getting what we're seeing. And as I said, we're prepared to respond if we see it that it's not what we wanted to see, which was a gradual normalization of conditions. If we see more than that, and it wouldn't be any one statistic, although of course the unemployment rate is generally thought to be a good single statistic.
Oh yeah, as soon as it hit a new high, we're seeing that momentum
Wages,
carry
we'd be
through
looking at
now.
Participation, we're looking at all the things, surveys, quits, hires, all of those things to determine the overall status of the labor market. But
No,
we're
it's
looking
not,
at it now.
Tinkerbell.
I would say
wage
again,
increases
I think
are not
you're back to
outpacing
conditions that are
inflation.
close
In
to
No, they are
shape,
definitely
form, or
not.
fashion.
and that was
They
not
are
an
not.
inflationary economy. Broadly similar
With the
labor
with the
markets
price
then.
of food and
I think
gas
that
still
inflation
going
was
up.
actually core inflation was actually running
Wage
below
increases
2%.
are
So we
not
I don't
keeping
now
up
think of
with
the labor
inflation.
market in its current state as a
I saw an
likely
article
source
here in North Carolina.
significant
To live a
inflationary
moderate
pressures.
lifestyle,
So I would
the
not
household
like
has
see
to have
material
$112,000.
cooling in the labor market, and that's part of what's behind our thinking. The other part, of course, is that we have made real progress on inflation, and we've got growing confidence there that we are not quite there yet, but we're getting more
I don't think we
confident
get to
that we're on a
2%
that we're on a
inflation.
sustainable path down to 2%.
I don't think we
So
get
those
there.
2 things are working together, and
Asif.
we're factoring those both into our policy.
All right, so let me ask the question. Type of 1 if you want to
Chris
stay here.
Rugaber,
Type of
Associated
2
Press.
if you want to get into the program.
You mentioned not wanting to see any further cooling in the job market.
Type of 1 if you want to
why
stay
not-
here. Type of
or
2
would
if you're done and you want to get back into the
preemptive cuts
program.
to prevent if you saw risks of an unexpected cooling. Is that something you would cut ahead of time for?
So I wouldn't say I wouldn't want to see any other cooling. It would be more of a material difference. If we'd be looking at this and if we see something that looks like a more significant downturn,
Holy smokes.
that would be something that we would.
Joey's going to take. Wow. You know something? I don't think that he's a clown. I think that he's doing what he needs to do. I think he put his foot in his mouth 2 times when he called inflation transitory. And I think he put his foot in his mouth last November when he said that we were going to get 3 rate cuts this year. You know, other than that, I think he's just keeping in line with his mandates, full employment, and and stabilizing price. So, I don't call him a clown. I don't think he's bad. I don't think he's bad in any way, shape, form, or fashion. I just need him to have backbone to do what he needs to do rather than succumbing to the pressures that everybody wants him to do. I think that between now and September, I guess we're going to really truly see if inflation is still hot. He did use the word sticky. So if inflation is sticky, he's going to be most likely not cutting in September. But I think he said, I'm not looking at one data point, I'm looking at overall. And based on overall, we'll see what the data looks like. We got another GDP, a PCE, CPI, HIJ, KLMNOP, ABC. We got all those. We got all of those coming out. We got all of those coming out before September. I still don't think we get one in September. And if we don't, for all of you who are out there thinking that y'all going to get a big rug pull. But the problem is with that, I don't think that he wants to do that to everybody. So we may cut and say, I just don't think we warrant it. I just don't think we warrant it. All right. So before we get back into the program, how many of you, this is what Ryan and I think. How many of you think we get a rate cut in September? Type of 1. How many of you?
I don't think we do.
How many of you don't think we get a rate cut in September? Type of 2. Joey,
put up a poll.
Yeah, I did. Put up a poll. Do you think we get a rate cut in September? Yes or no? Joey's going to put up a poll, but he's still talking. The market is still moving higher. As we go up to the home page, what's the market doing? The market's responding. Look at that. The NASDAQ is up almost 3%. The S&P up almost 2%. The 100 is up over 2%. The composite is up. Holy smokes. Thank you, Danny. Danny, you want to see a specific? Give me 2 stocks, Danny. Thank you very much for that. Everybody type a 1 in the room for Danny. Everybody type a 1 in the room for Danny. Danny, I need 2 stocks from you that I'm going to go look at right now. 2 stocks from you, Danny, that we're going to look at right now. Joey is putting up the poll. Answer the poll rather than answering in the room. But thank you for that. Get the ones in the room up in there for Danny. Thank you very much for the super chat.
So Dennis makes a good point. He commented. He said they can't pull enough money out of the system until Congress curbs spending. And I've heard it out of Jerome Powell's mouth himself that Congress needs to step up to do some stuff. Yeah. All they can do is interest rates. I think it will take some responsibility by Congress to really get the inflation under control.
Well, I got my comments on that, but I'm not going to get into it because it's a little bit more political than I want them to be. A little bit more political than I want them to be. All right, let's go take a look at their stocks today. We got time. It's 2:49. Let's go to customer picks. I didn't set. Good. There was nothing there.
And Ron, I think we all know Congress won't.
Nope.
Nope.
All right. And the stinking wars. I'm with you on that as well. Again, there's a lot that I don't want to talk about. How many likes did we get? 76. I'm going to give 10. Give me 10 stocks, Ryan. Call them off.
All right, 10 stocks. First up, IMMR.
Okay.
DFEN.
Right.
DFEN. Come on, type in more stocks.
That's all right. That's on the
MSTR. CALF. APEI, Apple, AMD, USAP, VRT, NVIDIA.
Let's go see
I don't know. How many do we have?
I don't know. 11. I'll give him an extra one.
All right, y'all got an extra one today.
I got an extra one, and we only got 81 likes. It's fine. It's fine. But Danny, I needed 2 stocks from Danny. Danny, you didn't give me 2 stocks. Sorry, I'm going back.
Danny boy.
Danny, we need 2 stocks. You gave us a super
2
chat.
stocks.
You got to give us 2 stocks.
All right, let's jump into these.
All right, here we go. All of them are going up today. All right, the best stock by VST is NVIDIA. Every stock, with the exception of MicroStrategy, has a VST above 1. Danny said CMG and SIGI. So we're going to go pull up Danny's right now. CMG, SIGI. There you go, Danny. Let's go peep yours out first. Looking at a 3-month graph on Chipotle. You know, after they split, everybody's, ooh, look at that. Chipotle's trying to do a little something right there. Coming out from the slow lane. Am I ready to pull the trigger on it yet, Danny? No. I do like that it broke through the downtrend. So if I really want to be aggressive on the play, that's a good way to jump in now that it went above. But I'd like to see it in the fast lane before I take it out. Before I get into it. All right.
A little early.
All right. Let's go to the next one. Same thing with SIGI. Interesting that it's in the middle lane, but starting to move sideways for the last 4 days. I do like coming out of the slow lane. I love the pinch. Look at the breakout on the pinch when it moved up. But right now it is in the middle lane and it's moving sideways. And because I feel for you, Amir, I am putting in BLD. All right, there's your BLD. You're fine on BLD.
Stock build. Oh, yeah.
New 3-month high.
Lane.
In the fast lane, buying pressure. I think you're fine as long as you're in it. Once it goes into the middle lane, though, think about being protective, taking some of that process, taking some of that profit off the table. All right, let's go back to the viewers. Here's your stocks. Let's graph them all. Only 2 holds in here as well. You guys gave me all good stocks.
Good stocks.
All right. Ooh, NVIDIA. Ryan, I'll let you talk on it.
Look at that. We just got a new buy rating today. I mean, if it wasn't for NVIDIA, I'd say hold off. But it's NVIDIA. It broke. Looked like it broke its downward trend. Full body candlestick. I mean, it's up 17. What did it say? 17% today?
Something crazy? Like that.
14%.
It's up 13.83%.
I'm a buyer.
I like the play. I think it's early to get in, but with everything that Ryan said, it's still in a hot space. It's taken its hit.
If it wasn't NVIDIA, I wouldn't be
and I'm with him on that. I'm with you on that. I think it's still an early play to get in now. I'd like to see it in the fast lane, but we've known what the stock can do. Could this be an early get back in to take it back up? That's all up to you.
If you want to take a nibble, I'm not mad at you, but I wouldn't want to do a full position right now.
A5.
Tiptoeing in.
What stocks are good to look at in the Middle East stuff cranking up? Look at DFEN. DFEN.
And shipping stocks have done really well.
Are they starting to move again?
They had a little pullback, but the last few days, there's a couple bouncing.
All right. So you know why he had a sell rating yesterday? Because he got his butt kicked. Now it's rebounding. There's 4 criteria for a stock to get a buy. It's got to be above its stop, trending away from its stop. RT needs to be above 1, and VST needs to be above 1. All of those things have happened for the stock to get a buy. All right, so just, it had a sell rating because it was not, it was a sell.
It went from 140 to what, 106?
Yes.
I mean, that's almost, what, 30%?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. And I'm not surprised the system flashed a little sell signal.
All right. SMCI. I'm going to look at that. Gosh, dang it. I told y'all to give me the stocks when you gave me the stocks. SMCI. Amir is still probably in it. Amir. I'm
not 3-hour show.
I'm not. Yeah, I know. I'm not. I know. I'm not ready for it yet. I'm not ready for SMCI yet.
No, it's too early for SMCI.
It's not even in the middle lane.
It's not getting the love like Nvidia.
It's
right
not
now.
even in the middle lane.
Mm-mm.
All right. Let's go back. Oh man, where was I looking at? Dang it! Hold on. Do I still have them up?
Are you sure you're not a boomer?
There we go. Oh, that's not it. Here it is. All right, let's go through these stocks. How much time we got left? About 5 minutes. Goodness gracious. USAP earnings. I watched that it broke outside of the bands. A little selling pressure, but the body's bigger. Watch that it broke outside of the bands. Most likely it will retrace, even if it stays in the fast lane. I'd make sure I'd still in the fast lane. Ryan?
I mean, it had earnings today. That's why it popped. So obviously the momentum is to the upside right now. So if you get into it, just make sure you have a plan.
Absolutely. Hi, Glenn. What mean leverage stocks? Leverage is it moves more than just the regular stock. Leverage, like one-time leverage for every 1%, two-time leverage for every 1% of stock moves. If you're in a leveraged ETF for that stock, for every 1% move on the stock, the ETF, which is leverage, goes up 2%. Or if it's 3 times leverage, it goes up 3%. So it's a more aggressive way to play a stock, especially if you're bullish on it. All right, or if you are bearish on it. IMMR, bottom left, top right, was in the fast lane. This would have been a good opportunity to take your profit right off the table right here. All right, I'd wait right now. I do love the graph, though, bottom left, top right. I'd wait for it to get back in the fast lane, though. Both DPOs are in the positive, still showing bullishness, just a little bit of a pullback. I'd wait for it to get in the fast lane. Ryan?
Yeah, if you're not already in the position, the fast lane's only a few cents away.
That's
I'd
right.
give that up. Just get some confirmation.
There you go. All right. Next one, URTY, small cap. I'm in a small cap. I think I'm in TNA or something like that. I'm in something. I'm in a small cap play, but small caps starting. They weren't moving up as much as the Nasdaq and the S&P, but nice move on URTY. URTY trading right at the session highs and a 3-month high. So I like the play.
I like it.
I do too. Glenn is Gen X. Yes, I am Gen X. Ryan is like a baby. What is your generation? What are you, like, generation baby bottle? What are you, generation?
I don't know. I have no idea. Am I a millennial?
I don't know what year were you born? You don't
88.
know what freaking year you were born?
Well, no, I was trying to think what 88 baby is.
You were born in 88. That was the question. Man, when you were born, I was in the...
I'm Generation Y.
Y, exactly. Y.
I didn't even know that was a generation.
Well, now you know.
Gen Y. I'm Gen Y.
You're Gen Y. Yeah. All right. Gen, like, Y. All right. AMD, look at the move. Look at the closed bar, though. Look at
no
the
follow through today.
Look at the closed bar.
I don't like it.
It is pulling back. Interesting.
I think it's interesting that NVIDIA, I mean, we've looked at quite a few semiconductor stocks today. NVIDIA's really the one feeling the love after the open. And a lot of them gapped up, but are down from the open.
But look at that give back on I'm thinking that people are not confident in the move. They're taking their profits. Very interesting. Very interesting. I'm from the easy money generation. All I do is stocks and sleep all day. That would be the boomers. Boomers would do that. I'm not a boomer. I'm not a boomer. APEI. Fast lane. What do you think about it, Ryan? I'm going to give my 2 cents. What do you think about it?
I like the bottom wick where we're at today, showing that buying pressure. If I could get a little bit more of a body in today's candlestick, giving a little bit more enthusiasm with the buyers, I'd like it. I'm really close to liking it. It's in the fast lane. But yeah, I'd want to see it a little bit more to the upside before I get in.
Batman says Ryan looks mature for his age. I think he's trying to say you look old. That's what I think, because you know what they say about us. We don't crack. We look good. That's all I got to say. We look good. Yeah. Nobody out there probably knows what my real age is, but yeah, I am Gen X, but I look good for my age. Yeah, I'm winking. Okay, that's enough. All right. You know what I don't like about this stock?
What?
The sideways move. Wow! Jen just gave us a $10 super chat. Good. Googly muggly. All right, we got to go look at.
Oh, your thing's taking off.
What thing? How did that what? Oh.
Thank you, Jen. Appreciate that. Thank you for
that
supporting
happen?
the channel.
We're
ORGS.
I'm getting ready to go look at what just happened. Can
Move it up for next time.
all right? Can they still see the screen? Oh, ORGS.
Yes.
All right, ORGS. Type the one in the rooms. That's an awesome super chat. Thank you. That's an awesome super chat. Let's go look at a 3-month graph. Holy smokes. This stock has got some volatility out the ankles.
Well, it's a drug company.
Oh, it's on drugs. Look at these big wicks. This is probably news driven. Holy, look at that super shooting star yesterday with no follow through today, and it's 77 cents.
But I do like today's candlestick.
All right,
As long as we don't finish the day with a huge upper wick like we've seen in a couple of these other candlesticks recently, I like it.
I'm going to go look at.
And to be honest, yesterday's high looks like it's just above 80 cents. Right now we're at 77 cents. So if you're not already in it and you're looking for confirmation, surpassing yesterday's high, not a bad idea.
So we know it's not fundamentally sound. RV and RS are not there. Mm-hmm. It is. This is a speculative play. Negative earnings growth rate, negative sales. Good, googly muggly. This is.
It's a crapshoot.
It's going to be either a home run or a strikeout. This is going to be either a home run. I'm trying to look at this every which way that I can. I'm just not feeling this, man. I like it in the fast lane, and I would only trade. How about this? I would only trade it if it's in the fast lane. As soon as it's out, I'm out. But right now it's in the fast lane. I got a little bit of wick at the top, a little bit of wick at the bottom. Still overall bigger body. Ooh, this is who gave that? Jen. You got to be super careful with this. That's all I got to say.
I like the Star Search layout for drug companies, especially news driven. Because of their parabolic moves, Star Search does a great job of managing those trades. So yeah, like Glenn said, as long as it remains in the fast lane, ride it out. But otherwise, if it breaks, you really just got to have the discipline to call it quits. Because we just looked, with these indicator scores, and it's a drug company. I mean, this stock is very volatile, very aggressive. It's speculative in nature.
And Amir, we're not all about get rich overnight. You know that. I am. So I hear what you're looking for, but all we can do is what we can do. You know that. All we can do is what you can do. Glenn, have you tried fast lane back testing? It's tough for me to do that because I don't have a stop to get me out if it's in the middle lane. So no, I haven't done anything with fast lane back testing, unfortunately. All right. That was your stock. Thank you for that, by the way. Thank you very, very much for that, Jen. You bought 1K at 59 cents. You made some money. All right, don't give it all back.
59 cents. Woo.
Yeah, don't give that all back. It's 77 cents now. Jen, do not give it all back at all. Holy smokes. And it's into diabetes. Thank you, Dennis. Differentiation technology for diabetes and vertically integrated manufacturing.
Interesting.
Small caps are moving still, but today it is the tech and S&P moving. DFAN, I'm in this stock. Move your mouse, Ryan. I am in this stock. I'm a happy individual. I got into it and talked about it in regards to
it was about 2 weeks ago.
Stocks to look at because of everything that was going on. All of the missiles that was, So, 3-month high, no wick at the top. How many people got into DFAN when I started talking about it? Type of 1. How many of you got into DFAN when I started talking about type of 1? All right. And I tried to, not every stock that we talk about does exactly what we would like it to do, but when it does, I want to see how many of you, man, that's, Glenn, can you use a trailing stop with the fast lane, give it like 5%? I don't know. I can't give a general trailing stop on the fast lane because it can vary depending on how high in the fast lane it is. So it's tough. All right, tough. T says, well, I was before you. Whatever, T. That's all I got to say. You know I love you, Semper Fi, but whatever. All right. So let's go to the next one. Apple. I just did a video on earnings for Apple and Amazon. I'm not a big fan of the Apple earnings. And I know that was probably weird coming from me, but I laid out the story last night that I think Amazon is the better play, than Apple. And
So hold on, Glenn.
Yeah.
Did you just say that Androids are better than Apple?
No, I didn't say that at all.
I just want to
As a matter of
make
fact,
sure I heard correctly.
I'm about to mute you. I'm so about to mute you. All right, that's all I got to say about that. But no, by the way, leave me alone. All right,
Leave me alone.
leave me alone. I'm not full on bullish with Apple, and when they come out tomorrow, Apple and both Apple and Amazon come out after the bell tomorrow. If you haven't watched the video that I put out last night, I invite you to go do that. But yeah, I do like the move that it's in the middle lane, but the bars are small. It's not a lot of conviction. Where's the volume? It's not a lot of conviction, is it? No, the volume.
Not a lot of volume.
Yeah,
The volume's tapering off
it
going
is.
into earnings.
So I'm not a big fan of Apple. Right now, it's still sitting in the middle lane. We'll see what happens after earnings. CALF. Small cap,
This
another
thing's
small
moving.
cap play.
Small cap.
Another small cap play. That is what's moving. Team Android can kick rocks. That's what you said, John? Team Android kicks rocks. Okay, I just was making sure that we see. Yeah, Team Android kicks rocks. Okay, good. The Tesla truck is a Fortnite now. We got a couple of them running around in Mooresville. Those are some of the ugliest cars. My wife looks at it and goes,
We got a couple
My wife looks at it and
around
goes,
like it's a loose
"Baby."
puppy or something.
She goes, baby, what is that? I said, it's the ugliest damn car you'll ever see in your life. But we got a couple of them running around in Mooresville. All right, next one, EBS. I do love the bottom left, top right. Just jumped
Very
out
smooth.
and jumped out of the fast lane, getting back in. I'm as long as it gets back in the fast lane, I like this play. Bottom left, earnings is coming out soon. Last one, 516171. Oh, earnings is probably coming out in the next couple of days. LMT exploded this week. That's why my DFIN is kicking it. And that's the beautiful thing about DFIN is it's looking at a lot of the major stocks in aerospace, which is why I love it. So that way I don't have to lock into Lockheed or the Northrop Grumman or any of those stocks individually. DFIN takes care of all of it for me. I do like the move on this stock. I'd like to see it in the fast lane. And the last stock.
Oh, wow.
What?
Lockheed Martin went from 462 a couple days ago, now at 540.
Yep. And that's probably pushing DFIN up a lot.
Yep.
By itself.
Jumping up.
By itself. Glenn, ask the 10-year-old kid kids are a fan of Elon Musk. What 10-year-old kid? Did you just call Ryan a 10-year-old kid? Oh, I don't know. I'm just messing, Ryan. Don't get all mad. I'm watching your face turn red. Don't let that happen.
Glenn, go ask 10-year-old kid. They like it. Kids are a fan of Elon Musk. Oh.
I saw a royal blue Tesla truck the other day. They come in different colors than ugly gray? Did they come? I didn't know they came in different colors. I thought it was that boring gray. Evidently not. MicroStrategy.
I think they report tomorrow.
Do they?
I know Coinbase does and Block, and I'm pretty sure MicroStrategy was the other one.
Let me put this on the 6-month graph.
So crypto stocks, crypto ETFs are going to be moving
429,
along.
5, 6, 7. It should have reported already, or it's going to happen in the next couple of days.
Okay.
Because the last earnings was 429, so it should be happening in the next couple of days. All right, that's all of the stocks. Hey, Joey, can you put us on the last screen? All right. Thank you guys for being here. Would you still get in the DFIN longer term? Yep. I think that with everything happening in the Middle East, and it looks like it's going to escalate, I think DFIN is a good way. If you didn't watch my video on defense stocks. Go back and look at it as well. All right. So I'm glad that I talked about it nicely before they all started moving. This is why, if you're not a subscriber to the channel, you should be. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you'll be alerted to when new videos that Ryan does, that I do. Ryan puts out a lot of shorts as well, a lot of shorts, a lot of great information that's on our channel. So you got to take a look at it. One last thing, Joey, type this link in the chat for me. We have a free portfolio challenge coming up. Go to www.vectorvest.com/PC. Joey's going to put the link in the chat. I want you guys to click on the link. It's going to be a free half-day seminar. A free half-day seminar that you can attend. Click on it, reserve your seat. Because even if you can't watch it live, you're going to get a recording of the half-day seminar. It is free. It's going to walk you through the basics of what you need to do to get your portfolios back the way they need to go. Everybody needs to click on that freaking thing right now.
Right now.
Click on it. And at least reserve your seat.
Brian D'Amico's hosting the event.
All right, there you go.
D'Amico and Todd.
D'Amico and Todd. Don't forget Todd.
Todd's going to be there too? Yeah. Perfect.
All right, but click on the link and reserve your seat. Even if you can't watch it live, you will get a recording of it. All right. So we got to go. I think
Carol, that is true, that comment. I saw that.
Painted their truck like General Lee and called it the General E. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know why you'd spend $140,000 to do that, but who knows?
Hi, Mark. Bye, Mark. Joe, you want to sign us off for today? Why? Are you chicken?
Joey, don't be scared.
What's the matter, Colonel Sanders? Chicken?
No, you did not just call him Colonel Sanders.
All right, Ryan, sign us off in ludicrous speed, please. In ludicrous speed. Go ahead.
We out.
Wow.
I'm just kidding. Bye, guys.
That was ludicrous speed. That was really ludicrous speed.
All right, bye, guys. Keep your eye on earnings. We got ARM coming up after the bell today. Tomorrow, Amazon, Apple, a lot of big things going on. Just keep your eye on the market. Make sure we're still getting that bullish follow-through since the interest rate decision and Jerome Powell's comments. Wish you guys all the best. Make some money. Have some discipline so that way you can at least keep your money. Have a good day.
Have a good day, folks. See ya.